In this presentation, we'll discuss online assessment. What is the use of assessment? Before going further into this topic, I would like to use an example from the covered setting. Management authors Robert Kaplan and David Norton pointed out in their Balanced Scorecard framework that organizations' performance can be measured in 4 areas. The idea is that organizations become successful in the areas in which they choose to measure themselves. If organizations do not measure one area, performance in that area tends to suffer. Therefore, they said, what gets measured gets done. I would like to apply the same concept to learning. What gets assessed gets learned. In education, we want to align competencies, learning objectives, and measurements before we design a course or lesson. Many instructors and designers use backward design principles, which considered desired results or learning outcomes first, followed by acceptable evidence, and then move on to the planning of learning experience. In designing an online course, do not start with your lecture or presentation without having considered learning outcomes and the assessment methods. There are many approaches to assessment. The term formative assessment or summative assessment is known by many. What exactly is formative assessment? What is summative assessment? Dr. Bernard Bu of Concordia University used an analogy to illustrate the difference. Formative feedback is the annual checkup at the doctor's. Summative feedback is the autopsy. Formative assessment is meant to give students a chance to check how well he or she is doing. With that kind of feedback, a student can take steps to improve learning tasks at hand. Summative assessment is mostly passing a judgment. You get an A, he gets an B, she fails, etc. Also, there are standardized assessment and non-standardized ones. Some questions are standardized that computers or devices can grade them for you. Non-standardized assessment requires some grading from you or someone else, such as a TA or a peer. The non-standardized assessment may include discussions, assignments, team projects, and peer review assignments. Formative, summative, standardized, or non-standardized assessments are the hows of assessment. We should also think about the whats of assessment. Are we assessing the mastery of knowledge? In that case, we seek to find out how much a student knows or understands what has been taught. Or is our assessment problem-based? In that case, we assess a student with a problem. It may require the use of various domains of knowledge, skills, or attitudes. Or is our assessment project-based? If it is so, students will be solving multiple problems, which in turn address the needs for multiple types of knowledge, skills, and/or attitude. Yes, assessment is important, you probably would agree. But why online assessment? Why not paper and pencil? Why not Scantron? Online assessment has multiple advantages. I'd like to name a few. First, time. You may have to invest some time initially to build the quizzes or exams, but it saves you time in the long run because you don't have to do it all over again every time. For standardized assessment items, computers will grade the items for you. Second, feedback. Students will get immediate feedback. You will get immediate feedback. Students can use the feedback to revisit learning. You can use the feedback or analytics to recalibrate your teaching. Number 3, flexibility. You can moderate the same exam using different questions from the same test bank, or you can conduct the same exam to students at different times, or you can release a version of the exam to one particular student with special needs. You have all kinds of flexibilities. Number 4, copy or move. It is easy to reproduce the same tests for the same or different classes. You can move one exam or an entire set of exams easily from one class to another with a few clicks. Number 5, change. If you make a mistake with either your questions or answers, You can recycle or rewrite the items so that scores get reassigned. Is online testing secure? There is often the misconception that online testing is easy for cheating. As a matter of fact, it is also easier for you to detect cheating. The screenshot shows that you can track student behaviors if testing happens online. You will be able to tell if a student has left the test page to go somewhere else. Additionally, you get many other types of data that may help you figure out how to help students learn. For instance, if a student struggles with a particular question, you can tell, since the log may show that he or she has been going back and forth on a particular question. What tools do you use for assessment? Here are a few I would like to list: quizzes, exams, papers, assignments, knowledge base, portfolio, and presentations, games, simulations, group projects, reflective journals. These are but a few examples of common assessment methods. All of them can be designed, developed, and implemented online. I hope this presentation gets you started thinking about assessment in an online setting. Feel free to let me know if you have questions. Thanks for watching.